Will the Denver Broncos stick with Javonte Williams and the run game against the Jets? It's a great question, especially because they've been struggling. Welcome into your Denver Sports Daily for September 27th. Let's go.
Taking you through your morning headlines, it's Denver Sports Daily with Rachel V. Hill.
Besides Tyler Bidet, it feels like the Broncos' run game has begun to struggle, or continued to struggle, as I should say. Javonte Williams hasn't been able to find much success. Neither has Jaleel McLaughlin. And then you lose Audric Estime to IR, coming back here in a little over 2 weeks. They haven't gone to Blake Watson, so it feels like a bit of a concern when you look at the Broncos' run game. Now, of course, any good team has to have a pretty decent run game, especially when you're rocking with a rookie quarterback. So will Javonte Williams stick it out? Will they stick with the run game if things don't get moving early on? Well, Joe Lombardi, the offensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos, spoke on that yesterday in West Virginia. Take a listen.
I don't know if there's a specific step you have to take. I mean, obviously Tyler got in there and had the big run, and he's a guy that we really like, but the run game's one of those things where not every run's going to be a 20-yard gain, and you stick with it. I think you know the players that you have. Just because the stats are telling you that they're not gaining a bunch of yards doesn't mean that they've all of a sudden turned to crap. So you just keep handing them the ball and know that we'll keep getting better, and the plan will keep getting better, and we'll keep blocking better, and their big runs are coming. So it's just like anything. It's tempting when you've run the ball a few times early and you're not gaining yards, just say, well, the heck with this, we're going to just start throwing. And, the run game is one of those things that, if you stick with it, you're going to start busting some runs. And so it's just a patience thing, and obviously just getting better when we do run it.
So in short answer, while he doesn't obviously name Javonte Williams or Jaleel McLaughlin, I don't think we're going to see much of a change from the Broncos when it comes to their running back. Tyler Beatty will definitely still get in there, or Bidet, excuse me. We got to make sure we're pronouncing that one correct. I think we're going to see a lot of him because obviously he was activated to the 53-man roster, but let's not count out Javonte Williams or Jaleel McLaughlin for getting the ball a few times for sure this coming Sunday against the Jets. I love the approach. Yes, you're not always going to get those 20-yard runs, but you just got to stick with it, and that's the truth, especially like I said earlier, when you're dealing with a rookie quarterback. Let's give you a little bit of a participation update on who was out there for Broncos practice at a very, very wet West Virginia. When I tell you that it looks like Hurricane Helena is definitely going to impact some practice today, that's for sure. And maybe obviously not like Tampa, and we do pass along all of our thoughts and prayers to everybody dealing with it down there in Florida. But you are going to be seeing a lot of rain in West Virginia, and there is no indoor practice facility. So safety, JL Skinner was not on the practice field for a second straight day on Thursday. He also did not practice last week due to an ankle injury that he got during the Week 2 loss to Pittsburgh. And then good news is wide receiver Josh Reynolds saw limited work on Wednesday, but he was on the field Thursday as practice began. Reynolds is listed on the injury update as having an Achilles tendon issue, which is fascinating. We've kind of seen this consistently throughout the season thus far. On Wednesday, it seems like he's not really working out as much, but Thursday and Friday, he seems to be back into the mix. So we'll keep an eye on that. And Andrew Mason and Cecil Lamey are both in West Virginia, and we'll have updates. And then also tight end Nate Atkins also practiced. He showed up on Wednesday's report limited due to a shoulder problem. So just a few names right there. Nobody big, obviously. You lost a couple people like Alex Singleton, who's now on IR, Mike McGlinchey on IR, some bigger names there. But as for people that could possibly play on Sunday, those are your updates right there for you. Now, we'll go over to the Steelers because we got to talk a little bit about Russell Wilson. And we've all been waiting for him to see, okay, is he actually going to go out there and play for the Steelers? But he is not back to normal. Wilson apparently worsened his training camp calf injury by playing in the preseason, and he's quote unquote not moving at regular speed. I find this to be a rather fascinating thing. Is it seemed like it was just a little bit of a lingering issue, and now the more and more we hear about it, it seems like it's actually a pretty big deal. Steelers coach Mike Tomlin has maintained since the start of the season that quarterback plans will be reevaluated once Wilson is healthy, and he seems to be in no rush to remove Justin Fields from the starting lineup. How could you? You're 3-0 to start the season. Let's not make any big changes. But sports reporter Jeremy Fowler also called the injury, quote unquote, no joke. So fascinating to see what's going to happen with Russell Wilson as he continues to try and help his hamstring. And again, just by playing in the preseason, it sounds like he messed it up even more. So how would a regular game affect it? It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, seems like it really is no joke out there for Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh. We'll stick with Pittsburgh, though, because in case you're going to be watching any of the games this weekend, Steelers pass rusher TJ Watt will most likely soon record his 100th sack of his career. Now, he's obviously pretty young and he has a big brother who did it just as well, but not only will he do that, he'll also do it in the second fewest games of any player in NFL history. He currently sits at 99.5, so 99.5 career sacks in 107 career game. Assuming that he's going to get one in the next 5 games, he'll have 100 faster than anyone except for Reggie White, who recorded his 100th career sack in his 96th career game. After White was DeMarcus Ware, who Bronco fans are obviously very, very familiar with, who did it in 113 games. Now, one thing is sacks only became an official statistic back in 1982, so the milestone doesn't encompass all of NFL history, but still pretty cool to be seeing history made from a guy like TJ Watt. Obviously, he's been an absolute beast out there. Broncos did do a good job, I feel like, of shutting him down a little bit, not allowing him to get too crazy, especially after some other insane games he's had so far this season. But yeah, in case you are wanting to watch a little bit of history be made, definitely be on the lookout for that because 100 will be here before we know it. We will now talk, though, in case you're getting ready for fantasy and in case you have Jordan Love on your fantasy team, you might be like, is he actually going to play this week? Well, the Packers said on Thursday that Love will be a game time decision for practicing with or after practicing for a limited amount of time this week. So that's good news if you're a Packers fan. I will say he missed the last 2 weeks since injuring his knee in the season opener versus the Eagles. People thought that he was going to go on IR. It was going to be 4 weeks or so. But obviously, he's been out there getting limited practice. Malik Willis has started the last 2 games and led the Packers to wins in both of those games, which is good. But I know a lot of people are eager to see him get back out there. And him, I mean Jordan Love. Now, the 2-1 Packers will host the 3-0 Vikings this Sunday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. So it'll be a really good game. The Packers, they're staying a little hot. They're staying pretty relevant, but the Vikings, they are absolutely on fire right now with that 3-0 start. So it should be a good game. Last night, we watched the Dallas Cowboys finally have a win courtesy of the New York Giants. It was an ugly, injury-filled Thursday night football game. The Cowboys held on for the 2015 win against their NFC East rivals. And again, poor Giants. They just can't seem to figure it out, man. And yet even Dallas, it was the defense that was the difference maker, allowing 26 yards on the ground on 24 attempts. Prescott, meanwhile, went 22 for 27 for 221 yards and 2 touchdowns, including CeeDee Lamb, who had 98 receiving yards and one of those touchdowns. Now, Dak Prescott's first career start was a loss to the Giants, and later in his rookie year, he lost to the Giants again. But that has not happened since. Prescott has won his last 12 games against the Giants, beating them again last night. So making that 13 in a row. So he starts with 2 losses to the Giants. He's pissed off probably. And he said, absolutely never again. Only 3 quarterbacks have ever won 13 or more consecutive games against the same opponent. That was the Dolphins quarterback, Bob Greasy, who won 17 consecutive starts against the Bills from 1969 to 1979. Then you also have Tom Brady, who is in that conversation when he was the Patriots quarterback. He won 13 consecutive starts against the Bills from 2003 to 2010 as well. You also have 49ers quarterback Steve Young, who won 13 consecutive starts against the Rams from 1987 to 1998. So cool to see that kind of in that mix for Dak Prescott, obviously with guys like Steve Young and Tom Brady, but definitely he's kind of haunting Giants fans from here on out. It feels like he got 2 on him and then he said never again. So just a fun little stat for you on this Friday. We will head on over to the Denver Nuggets, though, because holy smokes, did we get so much information. You can see on the graphic on your side, it says we're going to be talking about Westbrook replacing KCP, which was massive over the offseason. You got Aaron Gordon as well, and then the championship window. So there's like a ton to dive into when we really look at what's happening with this Denver Nuggets team. But Westbrook was pretty open about being a different chapter of his life from where he was competing for MVPs. And the 35-year-old point guard is on a minimum contract. He was graceful and pretty happy when he sat down there at the podium talking to the media. They even asked him what it was like to be the villain, essentially, for so many years, and now to have Nuggets Nation cheer him on. And it was just interesting to say, like, you always want people talking about you. That means you're doing something right, essentially. But There's also a drastic difference between watching Russell Westbrook talk to the media and then you have Jamal Murray talking to the media, who's only 27 years old. He just signed a $208 million contract extension, and Murray was very not open to talking about his contract extension or the Nuggets' failures a season ago, but he was happier to talk about MMA, which was also very interesting. So just like drastic contrast between the two guys. And obviously, Russell Westbrook is going to fill in for Jamal Murray when he either one gets injured or he just needs time off of the court. He's going to be that guy for it. But really, I want to just make it like super clear about people were mad about Bo Nix and his short answers. And yet Jamal Murray doesn't get that same pushback like Bo Nix did. And I thought it to be fascinating. If you actually want to go watch the press conference with Jamal Murray, you will be blown away by some of the answers he gave. And I'm still, after hearing it, I mean, he was up there for like 5 to 10 minutes, and it was very, very little that he gave everybody. But however, Russell Westbrook, let's go back to him. Let's go back to the happy fella that he was. He has accepted essentially that his job is to be able to push Jamal to be the best that he can be and play at the highest level he can. He's an unbelievable player and still has so much room to get better. And in a lot of areas, I'm grateful to be able to be here to help him along the journey, which actually is pretty dang cool coming from Russell Westbrook. He also says vice versa, always open and understanding and be able to learn from other guys as well, because that's how you expand your game and that's how you stay around longer. And I'm grateful and looking forward to the opportunity. Last season, Westbrook played in 68 games, starting 11, and he averaged 22 and a half minutes, 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 4.5 assists a night. And everybody knows he was essentially going to move on last year from the Clippers. And obviously he wants to win a championship. And one of the best teams to be able to do that is this Denver Nuggets team. So I'm excited to see Russell Westbrook, how he does in fact push Jamal Murray. But let's be real. One of the biggest things that the Denver Nuggets team is going to have to figure out is who the heck is going to replace KCP. He goes to Orlando after some drama in the offseason. And KCP was one of those guys that he got along with everybody. He made everybody on the court better about him. And that's what a lot of people talked about, including Christian Brown. So who the heck is going to be able to replace him now that he's with the Orlando Magic? Head coach Michael Malone did say, in fact, that there will be a competition to who is going to start in place of KCP with the starting 5. Goes on to say, losing KCP is a big loss. And now you have 2 guys who are more than ready and are willing to be able to take over that opportunity. He talks about Julian, how he was in the gym every single day this summer. The guy was a workhorse. To see what he did in the first 40 games before he got hurt and what he did in summer league before he hurt his ankle, it leads me to believe he's poised and ready to have a really good second season. Christian helped us win a championship as a rookie. You know what you get from him every single night. He was in the gym a ton this summer as well. So those are kind of some of the major ones. But Michael Malone did also want to make it very clear that it's not just about who has the better stats, essentially saying anytime you look at the starting lineup, you got to see what complements the lineup, which is one thing that I do love about Michael Malone. It's all about how can we have cohesiveness? How can we have chemistry when it comes to this Denver Nuggets team? We already know what we have in those 4, which he's talking about the starting 4 with MPJ, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon. But now it's trying to find somebody who can complement the starters and help complement the second unit as well. So it'll be interesting to see who essentially can show up. Will it be Christian Brown? Will it be Julian Strawthird? Will we see a little bit of Peyton Watson come in maybe with that second unit as well? I'm going to be excited to see what this Denver Nuggets team actually looks like on opening night. It's going to be fun. And that's why preseason will also be fun to see how the rotation happens for sure. Now, one thing I know for sure here in the Mile High City is the people love Aaron Gordon. Now, he is under contract for the coming season with a player option for 2025 and 2026. His current price tag of $22.8 million is a really good deal for the Denver Nuggets. And if Gordon left this offseason, he'd probably get a nice paycheck for sure, but he'd also be one of the most coveted free agents. However, Aaron Gordon can start negotiating a new contract today. And he goes on to say, I really love this organization. I love the players on this team. I love the coaching staff. So I hope that we get it done. It seems like it's moving forward in the right direction. So I'm excited. I'm excited, hopefully, to be extended and stay with this organization. He joined back in 2020, the 2020 to 21 season. He was 29 years old at the time. And in the biggest trade, essentially, since Gary Harris, among other things, went to the Magic. So it's a good thing to see Aaron Gordon. I know that the Nuggets want to keep him as well. It's been so fun. He's one of my favorite players ever. Just his energy is so good and he cares so much. So I'm really excited for him to have this season, of course. And then, just hopefully get a deal done, get him paid some good money, but also keep this core together as much as they possibly can, even with KCP leaving. You still have a majority of your core here for sure. Speaking about championships, that's what everybody wants to know for this Denver Nuggets team. Calvin Booth goes on to say that there is a 10-year window with Nikola Jokic, but they are in fact halfway through it. It started when the bubble happened, when they were all down in Orlando getting ready for the COVID bubble. And of course, how can we all forget the incredible season that was, unfortunately not ending in a championship and with Jamal Murray getting hurt. But 10-year window with Jokic, halfway through it now. So that means you have 5 more years with Nikola Jokic in his prime. And he goes on to say, and I'm not sure if I feel really great about this, I'm not going to lie, that if we hit one of them, it's great. So if they win one more championship in that 5 years, then that's what we're considering great. I would feel like 2 or even maybe 3 would be great. And I know it's hard to win a championship, so don't let me get that wrong. But I feel like good is to win 1. Great is to win 2 or 3 and be different. Michael Malone said that this Nuggets team tasted what it felt like to be on top of the mountaintop. And he says, we were knocked off last year, so let's get back up there. And I couldn't agree more. So the championship window, Aaron Gordon, Russell Westbrook, Jamal Murray being short at the podium. There's tons to dive into for this Denver Nuggets team, and Jake Shapiro did a wonderful job making sure that you have all the information and extra details from stuff I didn't give you here on your Denver Sports Daily. So make sure you go check out denversports.com because there is so much to dive into when it comes to pretty much everything about that Denver Nuggets squad and their media day yesterday. And of course, don't forget, you can subscribe to Altitude Plus for $19.95 if you want to watch every single game that's not on national television this year, or you're going to be able to watch 20 additional games on Channel 9 and Channel 20 this year. So plenty of good stuff. Yesterday, I told you about Shohei Ohtani's historic 50th home run ball that's going to be sold at an auction. Well, here's some stuff that's happening now. There is some drama brewing over this 50th home run ball. So the fan who caught the home run ball contacted the New Jersey auction house, essentially, and bidding was supposed to open up for this house today. So the opening bidding was opening up at $500,000, $500,000. Now he, of course, Ohtani, made history by becoming the first player ever to hit the 50-50 club by hitting 50 home runs and stealing 50 bases. Now, a baseball fan is suing the halt of the auction of the home run ball, claiming he snagged the ball first before it was forcefully taken away from him by another fan who pried it out of his hands. The 18-year-old plaintiff claims he's a victim of civil battery and wants to block the sale until the case is settled. The ball, like I mentioned, is set to go up today with a starting price of $500,000. So I'm like, the drama that is now happening around this ball is just absolutely crazy. Ohtani hit that 50th home run for the season on September 19th and became the first player, like I mentioned, to have a 50-50 club. So 50 home runs and 50 steals in one season, which is pretty dang cool all around. All right. It's a Friday, everyone. How are we feeling? Good morning, Rachel. Good morning. Happy Friday. Yes, it is a Friday. I walked into the studio today and we were like, we made it, everyone. Excited for this weekend for sure. Plenty of good stuff. Let's see. Good morning, Rachel. Good morning. Daniel Jones, playmaker, can't catch the football for him. I'm going to bet that Bo gets 2 touchdown passes this week. Can't hold his talent down any longer, Troy. I love the enthusiasm around that for sure. Yes, 2 touchdown passes would be great. I bet we see a Bo rushing touchdown yet again this year or this week. So I'm putting my money on that one for sure. But I would love to see him finally getting passing one. And if I had to guess, it's going to Javon Vele or Josh Reynolds. Those are my 2 guesses right there. So we will see. Let's go Broncos. Let's beat the Jets this Sunday. We can do it. I would love that as well. Get to 2-2 on the season, and who knows what can happen. That's what's amazing about all of that. So I hope so. I would request Javonte to put the 11 pounds back on. He's getting bounced around out there and not noticeably any quicker. He's on the verge of being replaced permanently. Okay, so Javonte Williams, if you did not know, in the offseason, he lost 11 pounds. He stopped eating late at night, essentially, which maybe we all need to take that into account, that if you want to lose any weight, stop eating late at night. I am also very much somebody who eats late night snacks all the time. So I understand this. I understand Javonte wanting to eat all of that junk food late at night because I am one of those people. But I think that Javonte has not read reads really great this season. So, and I guess we did notice him be a lot quicker in the preseason too. So I feel like we've seen him be quicker, but I feel like he just hasn't read his reads great. And unfortunately, that's you run into the back of the offensive line. Well, there's not many places to go. So it'll be interesting. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Just reading some of these comments. AG is a beast. Get it done, Nuggets. I would be so pissed off if they didn't get it done. Like, that would actually be one where I would be like, what the heck are you doing, Denver Nuggets? KCP walking is, I was angry at that one too, but like, I would actually be really pissed off at the Nuggets if they would let him go. We should keep track and see who guesses right. All right, Sharon, I'm putting you in charge of that. You are in charge of seeing who is correct. I'm calling Devon Vele or Josh Reynolds. I saw some other people talking about who Bo Nick's first touchdown pass is going to be. So yeah, I'm excited to see. So you are in charge of that. Come back on Monday and let us know who is correct. Hopefully he does throw a touchdown pass for sure. I thought this was Denver sports. I come here and you talking about TJ Watt making history, Dallas Cowgirls and the Dodgers, shaking my head. Well, we talked a lot about the Denver Nuggets. We also talked about your Denver Broncos as well. So you obviously didn't tune into the beginning of the show because we touched on those for sure. But there's also still a ton going on around the NFL, in the MLB. Plus, you just need some fun stories every once in a while. Like, we obviously hear so much about what's happening here in the Mile High City that it's nice to kind of hear some other stuff that's going on around all the other sports too. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Hey, Rachel, what's your level of excitement / expectations for the Nuggets this year? Great question. I'm pumped for this Nuggets season. I cannot wait. I really want to say they're going to get back to the mountaintop, but Jamal Murray has to stay healthy. He has to have a really good season, and I'm kind of nervous about that. He got paid, so we will see, but they'll obviously be a playoff team. Will they win the West? I really want to say yes. I really, really, really want to, but we have to see how the beginning of the season plays out. We have to see how Jamal Murray handles Russell Westbrook, and Russell Westbrook comes in and can play that backup point guard. So I don't know yet. I don't know what my expectations are. I think a championship is not out of the question, but I also want management and head coaching staff and coaching staff to figure it out too. So we'll see. I don't want to give it like too much. Cortland Sutton with the first touchdown reception. Can Bo Nix reach 1,000 rushing yards as a QB? Gosh, I sure hope not. Let's just put that as that. All right, but that's going to do it, you guys. Let's see. I love this. Please keep it up. Let us know, who do you think the first passing touchdown will be from Bo Nix? It's going to be a really good game. I've got my 3 keys to beating the Jets this week on Coffee Break. That's at 12 o'clock today, so it's going to be a good one. I'm trying to remember what we're going to be talking about. I feel like I had some really, really good points too. Yeah, they're blanking on me right now, but I promise you at 12 o'clock, I will have all of them ready to go. Some really good points. I did a lot of research on it yesterday, so I'm excited about it. But yeah, Lil Jordan or Vele. I like it. Let's go Vele. Let's hope he gets back out there. Oh, also, because the show is ending, please go watch the full performance of John Elway on The Masked Singer. I'm begging you. We could not show the clip on here. We did not have the rights to it, but wow. It was something. And then let me know on Twitter what you guys thought. I was dying. So I appreciate you guys so freaking much. Somebody's saying first touchdown, Javonte. That would be fun too. I would love to see him get back out there, get a little bit hotter. Let's go, everybody. Hopefully we're talking about a win on Monday. I'll see you guys at 12 o'clock for Coffee Break. 3 keys to the game to beating the Jets. And then we'll see you guys, like I said, Monday for another episode of your Denver Sports Daily. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.